Would you bite into day-old meatballs that have been bobbing around in hot water? Probably not. Of course, no one eats fast food for their health, but even staff won't get near these items. Do you subscribe to the popular assumption that the grilled chicken on the McDonald's menu is a reasonable choice? Well, it appears that at least one of McDonald's employees would beg to differ. That employee revealed in a Reddit thread in 2013, "A lot of people choose to be healthy and order our grilled chicken instead. Not a lot of people realize that they're eating at a fast food joint, and we will find a way to make anything unhealthy." The employee couldn't help but notice that a lot of liquid margarine was used in preparing McDonald's grilled chicken. To keep it from sticking to the grill, we use 3 squirts of liquid margarine on the bottom of it. To keep it juicy, once we've laid the frozen blocks of chicken, 3 more squirts of liquid margarine are applied to the tops. And margarine contains about the same amount of total fat as butter, according to Providence Nutrition Services. And so, this seemingly healthier sandwich may actually be pretty bad for you. Fast food restaurants have rules aimed at making sure the food you're served is sanitary, of course. However, how those rules are followed may vary by location. Moreover, there may always be an employee who simply ignores the rules. Based on statements made by a former Burger King fry cook in a Reddit forum from 2013, it appears that Burger King is not immune to this issue. Specifically, the Redditor pointed out that he frequently observed one of his coworkers spilling French fries on the floor, only to then pick them up and put them back in the cooker with, quote, dirt and all. He also witnessed that same worker dropping 2 chicken patties onto the floor, stepping on them, and then serving them anyway. It was something the fry cook could never unsee, and is the reason he won't eat at Burger King anymore. Whether or not you subscribe to the 5-second rule, the fact is that food dropped on the floor will come back up with bacteria adhering to it, according to a Clemson University study.
5-second rule!
5, 4,
Hang on!
3, 2, 1!
Got it!
Whataburger gravy may not be fresh when it's served, according to one Redditor employed at Whataburger. In a 2013 Reddit forum, the employee revealed, "I currently work at Whataburger, and I would never order the chicken gravy. It has an expiration of 8 hours, but unless it gets used up before then, we will leave it sitting there until it does, which can be well over the 8 hours. Apparently, the expired gravy goes from its normal creamy and white appearance to a, quote, gross brown color with a super thick consistency. While Consumer Reports has pointed out that sell-by notations do not rise to the level of do not consume after warnings, it can be difficult to tell when a food is expired or whether it's become contaminated with foodborne bacteria. Subway's Eat Fresh motto may be more aspirational than factual. Now, you may be perfectly comfortable with the freshness of whatever it is you typically order from Subway. However, if that happens to be the meatball sub, you might reconsider after hearing how a Subway employee and Redditor responded to a 2021 Reddit post, which petitioned fast food restaurant workers to name the one item from their chain they'd never eat. The employee confessed, "Meatballs are probably the worst menu item for me now. Meatballs are heated from frozen in a microwave, then left to sit in a bath of hot water to keep warm. Supposed to be thrown out after 4 hours, but I would sometimes start a shift and see the bag I made yesterday still sitting there." And so, you may have to consider the possibility that this practice is happening at a Subway near you. Reddit user Kiss My Sassiness revealed something scary about Steak 'n Shake's food safety practices back in 2015 when she responded to a post which asked fast food employees a loaded question: what should we not order at your restaurant? The Redditor revealed that anyone with a peanut allergy who orders a shake from Steak 'n Shake may be taking a serious risk with their health and their life. She said it plain and simple. Steak 'n Shake waitress here, don't order the milkshakes if you have allergies. Apparently, each Steak 'n Shake location has around a dozen metal shake containers that they use to make shakes all day long. Allegedly, the containers are merely rinsed with water between uses. That means any peanut residue from one of the many shakes on the menu may or may not be rinsed away by the time you order your peanut-free shake. While we have not yet heard of any allergic reactions occurring as a result, it's certainly food for thought. The roast beef Arby slices up to pile atop a bun is not actually what you think of when you think of roast beef, like a single cut of meat, but rather a compressed block of beef scraps. That's what an alleged Arby's employee and Redditor contributed to a January 2021 Reddit post regarding the one item fast food workers would advise against ordering. The Redditor wrote, "It comes in a bag filled with beef broth, and you just warm the entire thing in the oven for a few hours. And once the compressed beef block is heated, you put it on the slicer and leave it under a heat lamp for hours to slowly desiccate. Even if that doesn't gross you out, you should know Arby's roast beef falls under the definition of ultra-processed food, which, according to a 2020 study published in the Nutrition Journal, is linked to dying earlier from all causes." Many fast food employees have confessed on social media they know better than to consume the ice at their place of employment. Even with regular cleaning, employees reported that fast food restaurant ice machines are disgusting. One employee commented on a Reddit forum in 2015 and said, "The machines could very well be teeming with mold, bacteria, and even broken glass." But just how serious is the health risk? Sherry Woodis, retail food section chief for the Arkansas Department of Health, told safeice.org, "The same risk you can get from food, salmonella, E. coli, any of those pathogens can also be found on ice." And while a McDonald's employee and Redditor defended the cleanliness of the ice at Mickey D's, the reality is you really don't know how clean the ice machine is at any particular fast food restaurant. Out of all the weird rules that McDonald's employees have to follow, not a single one addresses how much sugar they are compelled to put into the McDonald's sweet tea. Nevertheless, one employee and Redditor posted about it in a Reddit forum from 2013. They said, "McDonald's sweet tea, pound of sugar per gallon." If this is true, that's quite a bit more sugar than McDonald's claims to put in their sweet tea. But even if McDonald's doesn't use the pound per gallon formula, as alleged, the restaurant still uses a lot of sugar in their sweetened tea. As noted on the McDonald's website, a small and large sweet tea are listed as having 21 grams and 38 grams of sugar, respectively. Although it's okay to indulge in the occasional high-sugar treat, the fact is that too much dietary sugar can really do a number on your health, contributing to a host of conditions that might otherwise be avoidable, including obesity, diabetes, and fatty liver disease, according to Harvard Men's Health Watch. When life gives you lemons, make lemonade, right? Apparently, however, you won't find employees using actual lemons to make Wendy's lemonade. Yes, despite the fact that Wendy's touts their lemonade as all natural and real, and notwithstanding that the ingredients list indicates lemon juice is the third ingredient after water and sugar, you'd be hard-pressed to find a Wendy's employee who has witnessed lemons being squeezed. Rather, Sprice5531 pointed out in a Reddit post, the fresh lemonade comes from a carton and mixed with tap water. To be fair, as another Redditor pointed out in response, Wendy's does not actually claim their lemonade is fresh squeezed. This, of course, calls into question what the word real means in this context. A reasonable person might think it means lemonade that has been squeezed from lemons on site. However, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration's threshold for real is quite low, allowing the tiniest bit of fruit concentrate to count, according to WebMD. The more you know. If you've been substituting whole eggs for egg whites in your breakfast sandwich, you may be surprised to learn how egg whites are prepared at McDonald's restaurants. According to a Redditor and former McDonald's employee, the egg white alternative is just as unhealthy, if not more so, than the regular round eggs. The reason? The Redditor revealed regularly observing the cooks at their McDonald's location spraying lots of extra butter on the grill and inside the round egg rings. Although this observation was made in 2013 regarding a particular McDonald's location, McDonald's does admit to this practice. The company's website stated, "At participating McDonald's, we use 100% egg whites in our Egg White Delight McMuffin, cooking them on our grill with real butter in an egg ring for that iconic round shape." However, it's unknown just how much butter is being sprayed on or around your egg whites. At a restaurant where dishes are made to order, you may be able to specify no butter. We know White Castle's sliders are delicious, but what about healthy? not so much. All fast food is processed to some extent, but White Castle's sliders may be the most processed of all. Molded into uniform rectangles resembling Lego blocks, they're steam-grilled over dehydrated onions and adjacent to the factory-made buns, in which they'll be served. Assuming White Castle employees exercise reasonable care with regard to avoiding cross-contamination, there's still the unavoidable fact that highly processed food has been linked to premature death from all causes, according to a 2020 study published in the Nutrition Journal. But that's not why some who have worked at White Castle make a practice of not partaking in their employer's burgers. According to Redditor Alesta, a White Castle employee who hosted a Reddit Ask Me Anything in 2015, the steaming process can result in soggy sliders, which can cause an upset stomach. Other Redditors agreed, but whether it's true or not that soggy sliders can actually cause stomach discomfort, the thought alone is probably enough to make your stomach turn.
We eat to live. These guys live to eat. Let me show you what I'm talking about. The human mouth is called a pie hole.
One of the reasons that Wendy's chili is so tasty is the fact that it's made with fresh meat, or so we've been told. The question, however, is what exactly does Wendy's mean when they say fresh? One Wendy's employee and Redditor revealed the true meaning in a 2021 Reddit comment. Wendy's chili meat is made from leftover meat from burgers that failed to sell. Another Wendy's employee agreed, saying, "It gets cut up and thrown into the chili. Aside from that, we always kept things clean." Is this cause for alarm from a health standpoint? That all depends on whether the chili is cooked to a high enough temperature to destroy bacteria that might cause a foodborne illness. The FDA advises reheating all cooked leftover meat to a minimum temperature of 140 degrees Fahrenheit. Once removed from the heat source, it must be refrigerated or consumed within 2 hours. No matter how deliciously crispy, sweet, and savory it might appear, the Beijing beef at Panda Express should be avoided. And it's not just us who feel that way. In a Reddit forum regarding menu items fast food workers would never eat, one commenter mentioned having worked at Panda Express and being horrified by the calorie counts of some of the dishes, specifically calling out the Beijing beef. According to Panda Express's website, the Beijing beef delivers 470 calories per 5.6-ounce serving. That may not sound like a whole lot, but of those 470 calories, about half come from fat, and nearly 20% of that fat is saturated. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more Health Digest videos about the latest fast food and restaurant news are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.